Okay, so ideas. So I mean, everyone has ideas, right? I often think about where do stories come from, and I think there are tons of ways that you can generate your own ideas. I mean, true stories, dreams, feelings. These are all things that I've drawn ideas and stories from in the past. Even existing shows. I typically like to smash two ideas together that are really weird and just see what comes out of it. Or what if scenarios. Like you just ask yourself, what if tomorrow, my taxi driver turned to me and didn't let me out of the car, my Grab driver, and told me that, I had to follow him into a tunnel and go into the depths of hell, right? Just what if, just explore the ideas. I mean, so when you're creating your own films, I would say be playful. There's an element of being playful that I think is often forgotten. Like I wouldn't say try not to over intellectualize the process of coming up with an idea. Like you don't necessarily always have to start from a place of, what do I want the audience to think about after that? You don't really have to go with your gut. Like sometimes you have to really think about what you enjoy watching. What do what's the little spark in you that you really love when you were a kid and maybe you were watching films, or maybe even now, like what do you think about when you watch a great piece of medium, a great piece of film? But how do you know if an idea is good? Like there's no idea, there's no way. You're gonna have to just develop it and churn it out. So there's two schools of thought. One is like, if you have tons of ideas, like me, just write, churn it out, test it, see if it works, right? So pitch it, write it really quickly. If you're the kind of person that you really feel that you only have like a couple of good ideas or maybe one idea, I would say, spend your time to develop that as much as you can, and don't worry about, generating other ideas. But, over time, like I would say, like you will definitely become the kind of person who has a lot of ideas because you're constantly thinking about storytelling. And so like, this is an example of just my Google Drive, which is a complete mess. I just put, there's hundreds of hundreds of documents of me just writing ideas over the course of 10 years of just weird stuff. Like, I don't know, something doesn't even make sense. I look back at it, I'm like, what was I drinking? Like, it's like AI teen competition thriller. Like it was teach less, slay more. Like, I don't know what that's about. Sometimes it just starts with a title as well. And I go from there. So I also have buckets in my, so it's a way to organize the chaos of an idea. Like, I mean, coming up with an idea for a script is chaos. Like you don't really know where to start. You don't know what you want to talk about. What I tried to do here was to try and add some sort of like rigor and a format to the chaos, so I can form it a little bit. So I have an idea bucket. I have a writing bucket where whatever I'm actively writing goes there, and whatever I'm editing goes in the next bucket, right? And after you've got an idea, typically what I do is that I write it into a logline, which I'll talk about later. A one-pager, an outline. These are all just like little terms about how to flesh out your idea, or that little kernel of an idea that you really love. I start really simple. I don't put in a lot of effort in it, to be honest. I don't agonize it over it for years. Some people do that, but I don't really like the whole like struggling artist mentality. For me, it's like I'll get it done. Like I just give me an hour, I'll get it done, I'll finish it, I'll move on to the next, and I'll come back to it later and I'll decide whether it's if it's worth exploring further. I get it down on the page and then I revise. Another key element of writing is revision and editing, because you never get it right the first time, right?